Now today we are going to discuss about Contra voucher. Before going to start the Contra voucher, we need to know about what is Contra. Contra in the sense when the single entry which will affect two or more ledgers, we are going to use the Contra voucher. So here in this the Contra voucher, I am going to be discuss with three journal entries. Here in this, journalize the following transaction in the book of Mahesh. In this, cash deposited into SBI rupees 2 lakh, cash withdrawn from SBI for office use rupees 15,000, fund transfer self accounts from SBI to Canara Bank rupees 20,000. Here in this, as usual, the company or the organization is going to be maintained the register concerning with for the banks where they are going to do the transactions. Here in this first one, cash deposited into SBI rupees 2 lakh. So whenever we have deposit the money to the SBI, the cash goes out from the organization, and as usual we are going to maintain the SBI account. Here in this, the SBI account is get into debited and cash account is to be credited. What the effect took place? Here in this the contra voucher, there is no any cash balance difference. The only difference, the balance between two ledger, that is cash book as well as SBI account. Whenever the cash deposited into SBI, cash balance is get into reduce and bank balance is get into increase. So here the single entry will get into effect two ledgers of our organization. So here SBI account debit to cash account. Second one is cash withdrawn from SBI for office use rupees 15,000. Here in this, when the cash get into withdrawn from SBI, that is the SBI is the giver and we are receiving the cash. So here cash account debit to SBI account. So the cash balance will get into increase when we have get into withdrawn the amount from SBI account and the SBI balance get into reduce. So here the single entry get into effect the two ledger of our organization, and as the same fund transfer self accounts from SBI to Canara Bank. That means our organization, that is in the book of Mahesh, in our Mahesh register, commonly we are going to be maintain the SBI account as well as the Canara Bank account. So when the fund is get into transfer, the balance is get into change, but the total balance as well the same, but the ledger balance will get into change. So when we have transferred the fund from SBI, the SBI balance get into reduce and Canara Bank ledger balance will get into increase. So here Canara Bank account debit to SBI account, because the SBI bank account and Canara Bank account both are the personal account. So as per the personal account rules, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So here the Canara Bank is the receiver. We have get into debited Canara Bank account to SBI. Here SBI is the giver. We have to get into credited with the SBI account. The amount is 20,000. The amount is 20,000. Now after the entering the getting to know about the journal entries, our next step is to go through the tally. Now I get into open with the tally. Here in this, first we need to create the ledger. For creation of ledger, click on accounts info. When you click on account info, that displays the account info dialog box. First, we need to get to create the ledgers. So here I have already get into created the ledgers, that is Canara Bank account, SBI Bank account, and by default cash and profit and loss account created. So now after creating the ledgers, we need to pass the journal entries. Very well you know how to pass the journal entries. For pass the journal entries, we need to click over on accounting voucher option. Click onto the accounting voucher. When you click onto the accounting voucher at the right side panel, that displays the voucher buttons. Here click on Contra. Now the Contra voucher get into open. Here in this, the first journal entry is what? SBI account debit to cash account. So debit the SBI account, credit the cash account with the amount 2 lakh. So now I will going to do the transaction. SBI account debit to cash account. Here credit cash. Credit the cash. The amount is 2 lakh and debit SBI account 2 lakh. Here enters the detail regarding the denomination of the currency. Just I will neglect it. And here write the narration. Here I will write the narration. The transaction, the narration you know very well, that is a brief explanatory note. Here we are going to do the deposit into the SBI and write the narration being cash deposited into SBI. The same here you have to write being cash deposited into SBI account. Press the enter key. Now accept. Click on yes button. The voucher is getting to created. And go through the second one. The second one is what? Cash account debit to SBI. Here we are going to withdraw the money from the SBI account. The amount is 15,000. So here in this, I would like to go through the right with the same. Here the voucher number 2. I am going to enter the second transaction. Here when we get into withdraw, the cash come into the organization. So cash account debit to SBI account. Here credit SBI. The amount is 15,000 and debit cash. And write the narration being cash withdrawn from bank for office use. For office use. And click on yes option. The second entry over. Now we are going to do the third entry here, fund transfer from one account to another account. Here Canara Bank account debit to SBI account. Do the transaction. Canara account debit to SBI. The amount is 20,000. To SBI. Amount is 20,000. And debit Canara Bank account 20,000. Write the narration being fund transfer from one to another accounts. Like this, we are going to create the voucher entries concerning with for the Contra. Suppose you would like to see the entries which you have made, go for the display option. Click on debug. Here see, in this we have got created with 3 entries. They have get into appeared here. So this step we are commonly applied for creating the Contra voucher into the Tally ERP 9. I think you better understand. Again, I will meet at next class.